How's it going, everyone? And welcome to Chapter 5 of the Story of Aeternum, a series in which I take you all along with me on a cinematic journey to the main story quest of New World, so you can get all the lore, without having to level up another character. This one's a special one for me, as not only might it be the last chapter in this series, but it might be my final New World video ever as well. But more on that at the end of the video. Before we get into Chapter 5 though, please consider giving the video a like and subscribe to the channel with notifications on. It helps out massively. Now, let's dive in. Chapter 5, The Final Showdown. If I was to take on Lochnir and Gawain, I need a bit more protection. Thankfully, Priscilla knew of a former knight who lives up in the mountains not too far from here, called Sir Mikro, who might be able to help me out. Mikro was once a legendary warrior with no equal on the battlefield, but since laying down his blade, he now spends his time in recluse, fishing the lakes and helping out passerbys. I made the short trek over to his camp, and after explaining to him what was going on, he offered me a spare set of armor he used to wear into battle. With my new armor equipped, I headed off in the direction of Corbenic Castle. The castle was a sight to behold, as I could see it off in the distance across the water as I pushed on towards it. Eventually though, after an arduous journey, I neared the bridge to the castle gates. Just off to the side of it, I could see Priscilla hiding in the bushes, beckoning me over towards her. She was in grief, recognizing many of the lost knights who patrolled the castle, but still, she agreed to help me put a stop to this madness. I was to charge in through the front gate, attacking the castle head-on, and she would use a hidden entrance on the other side of the castle to attack from the rear, until we meet up and take on Lochnir and Gawain head-on together. With the plan set, I made my way across the massive bridge, out onto the island the castle sat upon. The courtyard appeared empty, but I could see off in the distance lost knights patrolling around a structure at the center of the castle. I made my way up towards the structure, avoiding all the traps that were laid out, and fighting my way through the mindless lost knights that charged towards me. Eventually though, I cleared out all the knights in the area, and found myself standing in front of a giant door that led to the structure they were all protecting. Priscilla was nowhere to be found, and although I worried about her safety, I couldn't let this opportunity to put an end to all of this slip through my hands, so I opened the door and made my way inside alone. As I made my way down the massive throne room, I could see Lochnir and Gawain just off in the distance.
My liege, it is now my honor to join you, without reservation. Raise your sword. And now, you shall be the first to experience the King's justice. My lord, I leave this wretch to you.
Suddenly, Gawain lunged towards me. He fought ferociously, unlike anything I'd come up against before. I took everything I had to avoid the swings of his towering greatsword, and just when I felt like I was getting the upper hand, Lochnir jumped in and began attacking me as well. The battle was fierce, as he put my newly acquired armor to the test, but eventually, I caught Lochnir out and dealt the finishing blow to him. Seeing him fall to his knees felt like a weight off my shoulder, but I was quickly reminded this wasn't over, as Gawain would blast me from the back. I had to stay locked in if I was going to defeat him as well, so I snapped out of it and got back into the action. No matter how many times I'd hit Gawain, it seemed as if I was doing no damage to him. He just kept coming at me. This was life or death, so I kept at it, and sure enough, after a painstakingly long battle, I landed the shot that dropped him.
For the glory of Avalon. Until the end of eternity.
I was a little annoyed that after all the work I'd put in, just when I had him on the ropes, Priscilla jumped in and stole my kill. But I guess she did have a history with him. At least I managed to finish off Lochnir though.
Fatality.
I took a moment to regain my breath after the battle, before searching the area for the crown of Prydwen. I'd find it just outside the throne room, sitting on a large pile of loot that I'm sure Grace will appreciate. After collecting all I could carry, I exited the castle to regroup with Priscilla. She apologized for arriving late, but I was in too good of a mood to hold it against her. We needed to make our way back to Prydwen to let everyone know the crisis has been averted and to return the crown so a new ruler could be appointed. And there was only one person suitable for that position: me. Only joking. Jinjae. She has led Prydwen admirably for many decades now, and she has the love of the people, so there's no better person for the job. A new queen to lead Prydwen into a new age, Queen Jinjae. So I headed off back to Prydwen and made it back just in time to deliver the crown and catch the end of the coronation.
This is already more fanfare than I had hoped for.
As far as coronations go, I would say this is fairly modest.
A ceremony befitting our humble new queen.
Queen. I'm not sure I'll ever get used to hearing that.
No more stalling, my queen. People of Prydwen, honored guests. Together, we have endured great hardships. But despite it all, a steady hand has guided us through the storm. May I present to you, Queen Jinjae of Prydwen.
The whole town was abuzz after the coronation, celebrating an end to the current lost threat. But I couldn't celebrate yet. I needed to find a way to get this corrupted voice out of my head, so I approached Jinjae to inform her of my next steps. She would go on to inform me that she'd like me to stay and become one of her knights, helping her rebuild the order, but she fully understood why I needed to leave. She even left me with a lead to go on how I might get rid of this voice in my head. She'd heard of it before, and it was said that in the days of Artorias, the voice of Myrddin called the knights to evil and drove them mad. There's no known cure for it, but she does know of an old man who comes to Prydwen from time to time that goes on about the corruption. Many believe him to be deranged, but Jinjae sees wisdom in his eyes, so maybe he might know something that can help me. After finishing up the conversation, I bid farewell to Jinjae and made my way to the town gates. I was informed that Grace headed north to Everfall, that I should meet her there, or if I was to find this old man who could help me, I should search the East River, as he fishes there. And I also heard whispers around the taverns that the people of Windsward were in dire need of help from someone like me. So much to do, and so little time to do it, so I headed out to see where my journey would take me next. But that brings an end to Chapter 5 of the story of Aeternum. Like previously mentioned, this might very well be the last chapter in this series, as my time in New World is coming to an end. This series has always been special to me, so I wanted to give you all one final chapter to kind of conclude the story at a good ending point. If this chapter does extremely well though, and there's enough people asking for me to continue the series, I'll be open to dedicate the time we have left on Aeternum before the servers go down to going through the whole main story quest, but that's up to you guys. I know even when New World was at its peak, this kind of content wasn't very sought after for most of the player base, but we'll see. If this is the end, it's been a pleasure making this series for those of you who enjoyed it, and if you did enjoy it, please consider giving the video a like and subscribe to the channel. It helps out massively. And until next time, have a good one. Thanks for watching another video, and a massive shout out to all the channel members and patrons who keep the channel going, seen on screen now. Links on how to become one in the video description. If you'd like to watch chapter 6 of this series, if it gets made, click on the video to the left. Or, if you'd like to watch my old Story of New World series to see how the New World story has changed, click on the playlist to the right. That one has a lot more chapters than this one ended up having.